Hi, and welcome back to Morgellons discussion and microscopy videos. I'm your host, Jeremy Murphy, and today I want to talk about the craziness that goes on in these online groups. Yeah, you hear me talking about it all the time, but one aspect that I rarely mention is the products that are being sold in these online groups, which are touted as being able to alleviate the Morgellons condition, if not cure it entirely. But after seeing people take these products continuously for years now and still being afflicted, it's hard to say that these patients in these online groups aren't being taken advantage of. Hey, if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and click that button down there below. Feel free to discuss this at the end of the video. We'd love to hear your contribution to the discussion. What do you all think? Are you in a Morgellons group, and has anybody ever approached you about buying one of their products? So recently I made it clear in social media that Steve Beddingfield, the famous microbiologist, has passed away. He died in 2020. I never knew the man, but I heard his name floated around a lot. Famous microbiologist Steve Beddingfield. So when I looked that up, I found some studies, some actual research papers by a Steve Beddingfield. And I found out that that man had passed away in 2020. There's also a Steve Beddingfield in the Morgellons community who sells a product, a salve that he creates by combining a few ingredients together. And I pointed out that I didn't think the two people were the same, specifically because the famous microbiologist had passed away 4 years ago. But this guy is still online selling salves. So I posted the obituary in our Morgellons group, Morgellons and Lyme Awareness. And Steve Beddingfield, instead of saying, well, that's not me, that's a completely different guy, I'm a different Steve Beddingfield, he said, Jeremy invented that obituary. He fabricated it. And that's not all. He went on to continue to say, and 5 of his friends got together and they hacked my website and the accounts of everybody in this online group. So then I started getting screenshots people were sending me of Steve in this group, telling people that I'm a nefarious hacker and that I'm taking advantage of people for participating in our online group. And they showed me screenshots of other people saying that, showing me pictures of who the alleged 5 other people are. And that got ridiculous. And those people contacted me. And so I've been collecting this evidence in case we do have to present it to an attorney. The problem, though, is that the claims are so ludicrous that you would have to be unsound to subscribe to that notion. The potential that I would risk everything I still have that I've been able to build up since rock bottom to incriminate myself as a criminal. And so I'm trying to do the right thing. And that's why I had to get on here and speak out and make it clear, because some people have been asking, where did you post that you did not do this? I posted it in the online group. I'll leave a link in the description below. But for the sake of YouTube, no, I did not hack Steve Beddingfield's website. I'm not even sure if somebody really did hack his website or if he just didn't invent that story instead of coming out and saying, hey, I'm a different Steve Beddingfield completely. That guy is totally different from me. I'm still alive. But he didn't do that. He said Jeremy invented that obituary and he hacked my website. So that's the kind of craziness that you got to deal with when you're in the Morgellons communities. And that's why I warn people against them. And that's why factual information is so necessary when you're discussing Morgellons disease. People come to me all the time with pictures that they perceive to be Morgellons. And if you know me, you know there's 2 criteria that I apply to those images. 1, are they magnified? Is it at least 60 times greater, 60 times magnification or greater? And 2, is it showing something inside the skin? You know, oftentimes people will show me stuff in the bathtub they say came out of them. I'm like, how do I know that it came out of you and not just off of you? You know, when you go in the bathtub, it washes stuff off your skin. That's why it's important to demonstrate these artifacts inside the skin. That way you can say, look, it's embedded in there, because that's the criteria. Morgellons fibers, we know from the science, originate inside the skin, sometimes even underneath the surface layers. And that's frightening. but it's the reality. Second reality is that Morgellons is associated with Lyme disease. And let's be clear, Morgellons is defined in the science as a skin condition characterized by multicolored microscopic filaments embedded in skin tissue. That's specific and it's characteristic. When you see actual images in the scientific research papers depicting Morgellons, they typically look the same. They're kind of hard to distinguish from person to person. You may be able to perceive a difference in skin conditions. You may be able to kind of hypothesize which part of the body is being shown. But you'd have to be familiar with what the body looks like under microscopic conditions. You'd have to be aware of that. And so if somebody sends me a picture and it doesn't adhere to those two criteria, I have to tell them, look, I'm sorry, but this can't be considered Morgellons because we don't know if it came from the skin and it's not microscopic. So that's why I wrote a guide, how to photograph Morgellons. And it shows people exactly, specifically, that Morgellons needs to be photographed under 60 times magnification conditions. And it has to be demonstrated inside the skin, because otherwise it's impossible to tell if something originated from the skin after it's exited the skin. And so what kind of agent could possibly get inside the skin and cause the skin to produce these artifacts? Well, we know that parasites, I'm talking worms don't actually infect individual skin cells. But we know that Lyme disease does. And we also know that once Lyme disease gets in there and starts living, inhabiting inside the skin cell, that it can cause that cell. It can cause an effect on that cell to where that cell will start to overproduce the amount of collagen that it typically makes. There's no other kind of agent out there that we know of that can both go inside a skin cell, live inside it, and cause it to overproduce the proteins that it typically makes. That's just Lyme disease and relapsing fever right now. If you think you know more, if you think you know of an agent that can live inside a skin cell and cause a skin cell to overproduce collagen, please let me know in the comments down below. I'm open to that. But right now, those are the conditions by which Morgellons, the microscopic fibers, the filaments, the follicular casts, and the projections, the keratin projections, that's the environment to which those artifacts are made. It's an overproduction of the proteins in the cells, which are inhabited with Borrelia bacteria. And that's demonstrated in the research in a variety of ways. One of the ways that it's demonstrated is by tissue antibody staining. They're able to take the skin tissue and stain it and show the actual bacteria, the spirochetes, the Lyme disease right there inside the skin tissue. That's a direct detection method. What we do inside the hospitals and inside the general practitioner's office is we look for the body's immune response to those germs. And sometimes the body doesn't make an immune response to those germs. And that's why you may get a negative test reaction on a Lyme disease screen, because your body, it may not be producing that immunological response that that test is looking for. And in that case, it may not hurt to look for the germ directly inside the skin. They're working on another test, a urine test, and hopefully that'll be out sooner than later. But in the meantime, what else can go inside a skin cell and cause that skin cell to overproduce the proteins that it makes? What? So that's why, when people start talking about Steve Beddingfield years ago, he was talking about cyanobacteria, that was the cause of Morgellons disease. I don't think they say that anymore, but for certain, I didn't hack him. In real life, I don't think I have 5 friends that I hang out with routinely. The other people who have been mentioned have been implicated in this. They say they didn't hack anybody, and we're talking with each other about this situation. It's especially concerning. So if you have information about this, please feel free to come forward, contact me, so I can help coordinate with the other people who are being just mischaracterized by this person, who all he had to do was come out and say, look, I'm not the guy in the obituary. But it would also help if he wasn't making these salve preparations and trying to sell them to Morgellons patients under the assumption that it's going to have any lasting impact on their skin condition. And certainly, if you've ever been told to eat that paste, don't do it. Don't eat that paste. Just don't do it. And let me know if you've been told to do that. All right. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Take care. Take it easy. Do the right thing. And we'll talk to you soon.